And this prayer has actions. So every time you're going to see a slide with the action, and then the next slide has the words that go with that action. And this is all followed by the Lord's Prayer. Let us pray. Holy God, you were with us when we were born. You are with us as we grow. You are with us when we hurt. You are with us when we are happy. You are with us now. Help us to see what you are doing in the world. Help us to hear what you are calling us to do. Help us to love each other the way you love us. So that we might change our lives. So that we might change the world. Amen. Amen. And now let us join in the prayer Jesus taught us as we say together, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. You may be seated. Once again, we welcome all who are here today and trust that this day will be a blessing and inspiration to you, and that you will have an opportunity to get to know folks, to renew acquaintances, and also to share our love and care with one another in the congregation and beyond. I would like to draw your attention to the announcements which remind us of the life and ministry of our church. You'll see them in the insert to the bulletin today. Once again, we want to thank Ray for accompanying us on the piano today and for accompanying our singing. I want to thank all of those who have helped out with the Kidney Walk, and we do encourage you to support the Kidney Walk if you're able to make a donation or to support those who are going to be going for the walk. What will happen is that immediately after the service, we will all go out singing together, and we'll gather outside and kind of over as much towards where the band is as possible. There will be a couple of introductions and some exercises for those who will be going on the walk, some stretches, and then those who are doing the walk will leave. You can either walk down the road or through the cemetery if you wish, down to Papa Sam's. If you need incentive on the walk, Papa Sam's is giving free ice cream once you get there, and then come back. And because some of the walkers will be a while getting back, we'll probably start the barbecue about 11:45 or so, and not to hurry with the barbecue to give them a chance to get back. So you folks probably will get first dibs, but then we want to make sure there's enough for them. And there's lots of hamburgers and hot dogs and other food. And so we do hope that you'll stay for the fun and the games. There'll be a fire truck, there's bouncy castles, there's a band. So please do stay and enjoy all of the activities and also support the Kidney Foundation. This year we had about 40 community groups and businesses sponsor the Kidney Walk, and there's a big poster outside with the names of all of the agencies and groups and businesses. So we do encourage you to look at them. There were too many to print. We'll probably print them next Sunday because they're still coming in at the last minute. But please do take a look at the board of the many people who sponsored this event today. Right. Tomorrow night, Monday night, is paint night at 6 p.m. And if anyone is interested, there's contact information there. And on Wednesday evening is soul time at 6 p.m. You'll see a number of other activities that are printed on the longer handout, both in terms of what you can do today, activities today, but also in terms of activities happening in the church in the coming weeks. The board and finance ministry team will meet on Wednesday. The UCW Happy Lunchers will meet at noon on Tuesday, and all the women in the congregation are invited. We're still looking for coordinators for the fall supper. If anyone knows of anyone or would like to volunteer, let me know or call the church office. There's an announcement about hurricane relief, and I see the DeVitas are here. They just moved back from Halifax, and I'm sure Chris is happy he's not battening down the hatches of the ship in the harbor because of the hurricane that's gone through. And we do hold the people of Nova Scotia and all the Maritimes in our hearts. And especially for the Bahamas, you'll see how we can support those who've been devastated by the hurricane. It's listed there how you can support them through the work of the United Church of Canada. There's a financial update, and you'll see that through the first 8 months of the year, we've had 4 months slightly above givings and 4 months slightly below, so we're very close to budget, and thank you for your support. You'll notice also the insert about family night and the potluck supper on September 14th, and the concert fundraiser for our church with Rory Gardner on September 21st. Many saw Rory when we had a fundraiser here last year for tornado relief, and he's got lots of stuff on YouTube, and it's been getting a lot of attention because he was one of the people whose houses were damaged by the tornado last year, but he's done some humorous videos about it. He has some stories to tell, so I'm sure you'll enjoy the evening. He usually takes requests, and nobody has stumped him yet. He's kind of country, but he can sing anything. So even some of the little children, came out. But he's got young kids, so he knew all the kids' songs too. So we hope you can come out to that as well. So please do take note of all of the many activities in the life and ministry of our church as we gear up for everything happening in the fall, and allow you to grow spiritually and to create a sense of belonging and community as you find a place here at Stittsville United Church, SUC, the place to be. At this time, I'd like to invite any children who'd like to come and join me at the front, please.
I like your dresses, girls. I like your buttons. Nice buttons. You left me hanging.
How's everybody today? I know you're waiting for all the stuff outside, the games and the bouncy stuff and everything. Oh, right. I forgot. I've been on holiday. I'm going to forget a lot of things today that you guys are going to help me remember. Thank you, Sam, for bringing your donation.
Sam, you're so big. Sam's grown up over the summer.
Anybody any more donations for our church today?
Yeah.
Good.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, donations.
Thank you.
Their
I know.
No, don't spit that, don't spit that, don't.
Two don'ts. It's always bad decisions.
Thank you.
I'm saying it.
but it's all right. Perfect. I know you're not the only ones that I see very reluctantly putting stuff in the donation.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's good and it helps a lot of people. How many of you have ever had a party, a birthday party or some other party? Any of you ever had a party?
Parties, eh? Parties.
So how do you get people to come to your party? You invite them. Okay, you said it's easy. Nash, how do you invite people? You send a letter or something. That's excellent. Yeah. Today you let us message them on Facebook. Yeah, you can call. No? How do you? Some other kind of messaging service. I know there's too many out there. WhatsApp. You know the list is too long. I can never keep up with them all. But there's lots of ways to invite people, and we can think about not only how to invite people, but who to invite. And so today we're going to be kind of thinking about that. We're going to be thinking about how we invite people to church. Because church is kind of like a party. In the United Church Creed, it says we are here to celebrate God's presence. That means to have a party, to have fun. But not just for us, but to keep inviting other people. And I've thought about it. I don't know if you've noticed our church sign down by the road, but it says you are invited. Because it's more than just saying you're welcome. Welcome is kind of a passive thing. You sit back, you open the door and say, well, if you want to come, okay. We'll be nice if you come. But invited means you actually take the effort to go out and ask somebody to your party or to whatever you're doing. And that includes our church party. And so today we're going to talk about who we can invite and how we can invite them. But first, I want us to read together a scripture that Jesus talked about, a Bible passage, a story about inviting people to a party. And I want you to listen to how the people were invited and who was invited. So today we're going to be talking about being invited to the party, and it was a wedding banquet.
Wow.
It was a huge wedding feast. Now, you really have to pay attention.
Yes.
Not that you don't always, but you really have to pay attention. Because a part of it's going to say the pulpit side, and a part of it's going to say, I think, the piano side.
Okay.
So, and then a part of it is for people who are married.
Oh.
So if you're married, you get to say a part too. Okay, so here we go. Jesus went to eat at the house of an important religious leader. And one of those at the table said to Jesus, "How fortunate are those who will eat at the feast in God's kingdom." Jesus replied, "A man was preparing a great banquet and invited many guests. When the banquet was prepared, he sent his servant to tell those who had been invited, 'Come now, because everything is ready.' But they all began to make excuses. One person said, 'I have just bought a field for my farm, and I have to go see it. Please excuse me, but I cannot come.' Another person said, 'I have just bought some cattle, and I'm on my way to get them. Please excuse me, but I cannot come.' Another person said, 'I just got married, and I'm going on my honeymoon. Please excuse me, but I cannot come.' The servant came back and told his master that none of the invited guests could come. Then the owner of the house became upset and said to the servant, 'Go out quickly into the streets and alleys of the town and bring in people who have no money, people who are sick, and people with disabilities.' 'Sir,' the servant said, 'we have already invited all those people, and there's still room at the table.' Then the master told his servant,
Wow.
So we heard that story, and I asked you to think about how people were invited. How did the invitation to get out? Did you hear that near the beginning? How the invitation got out?
Yes.
Yeah?
So he asked his guard to go get people.
He asked his servant, his guard, to go get people. Absolutely. That's how you got the message out. And so we're kind of like that servant in the story. We're called to go invite people to be a part of God's big banquet. And then in the story, who were invited? Did you hear in the story who got invited? There was a group of people who were people that the man knew, and then they couldn't come. So he invited a few people from the town around, and they couldn't come. Nash, who else did he invite?
He invited people with no money, people with disabilities, people who are sick.
Absolutely, you got it. No money, people who didn't have money, people who were sick, people who had disabilities and different abilities. And he invited people he didn't know. He kept making that circle of the invitation bigger. And so today we're going to hear about how we offer an invitation to people. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But we want to sing first a song that talks about that passage we just heard. And so for those of you who are here a bit ahead of the service, we had a chance to go over it once, but we're all going to sing it now. Again, you have to pay attention.
You do.
Because Allison put a few little notes in it. There's one place you sing 2 verses in a row, you don't go back to the chorus, there's a key change, there's a bunch of stuff. Pay attention and we'll get through it.
Let's try standing up.
So just wait for me to get the...
And it's a little peppier than the first song. Start trying to wait to the chorus. I can't.
Stop!
So Allison is in Nova Scotia right now with her daughter. So she recorded this song for us. Here we go. I cannot come. I cannot come to the banquet. Don't trouble me now. I have married a spouse. I have bought me a cow. I have fields and commitments that cost a pretty sum. Pray hold me excuse, I cannot come. A certain man held a feast on his finest day in town. He laid a festive
You may be seated.